What if I told you that death is nothing to fear? Imagine this. One day you close your eyes, and that's it. No pain, no consciousness, no awareness of anything, just non-existence. Is that terrifying? Or is it liberating? We spend much of our lives avoiding the thought of death, building routines, relationships, legacies, perhaps in part to distract ourselves from that looming silence. But more than 2,000 years ago, a Greek philosopher named Epicurus boldly claimed that the fear of death is irrational, and that understanding this is the key to living a tranquil life. But here's the real question. Does Epicurus successfully eliminate the fear of death? Or did he offer soothing words without real emotional weight? Welcome to a philosophical exploration that dives deep into logic, emotion, and the very core of what it means to be mortal. Welcome to The Unfolding Journey, a channel where we explore life's biggest questions through the lens of philosophy, psychology, and human experience. If you're fascinated by the search for meaning, the struggle with mortality, or just love peeling back the layers of thought from history's greatest minds, you're in the right place. Now let's unfold this journey into the heart of Epicurus's thinking and the fear of death. Epicurus was born in 341 BCE and founded a school of thought that promoted pleasure as the highest good. But unlike modern interpretations, pleasure for Epicurus didn't mean indulgence. It meant freedom from pain and fear. And the ultimate fear, according to him? Death. His famous quote captures the essence of his position. Death is nothing to us, because when we exist, death is not present, and when death is present, we do not exist. This statement rests on two key ideas. Death is the end of sensation. We only fear things that can cause suffering or be experienced. If we truly cease to exist at death, then there's no we left to suffer. And if there's no suffering, why fear it? To Epicurus, fearing death is as irrational as fearing the time before we were born. We didn't suffer then, and we won't suffer after. Let's assess this from a purely logical standpoint. At first glance, Epicurus' logic appears airtight. He builds on a materialist view of the soul, that the soul is made of atoms and dies with the body. Without consciousness, there can be no pain, no fear, no dread, and therefore nothing to worry about. This avoids the need to speculate about heaven, hell, or reincarnation. It's clear, simple, and rational. Furthermore, his reasoning aligns with what some cognitive scientists and atheistic thinkers argue today, that death is simply the cessation of brain function. In that framework, there is no after, and fearing it is like fearing a dreamless sleep. In this sense, Epicurus provides a logically consistent and secular answer to the fear of death. But logical consistency doesn't always translate into emotional relief. Here's where things get murkier. We humans aren't just rational machines. We're emotional, imaginative beings, capable of anticipating our future, fearing unknowns, and mourning not just pain, but lost possibilities. So even if we accept that we won't suffer after death, what about the fear of leaving loved ones behind, missing out on future joys, dying too soon or without meaning? Epicurus doesn't directly address these emotional dimensions. His argument speaks to the experience of death, not its implications. For example, a parent may logically accept death as non-existence, but still feel anguish at the idea of not being there for their children. Or someone deeply in love may grieve the loss of shared time they'll never have. Additionally, humans fear not just death, but the process of dying, the pain, the loss of dignity, the isolation. Epicurus focuses on the end state of death, but many people's fear stems from the transition. Therefore, while his argument might help reduce metaphysical fear, it doesn't necessarily comfort the emotional loss associated with mortality. Another common counterpoint is the deprivation objection, that death is bad not because of pain, but because it deprives us of life's goods. Philosopher Thomas Nagel argued that even if we don't experience death, it can still be a loss, much like being cheated out of a prize you never knew you were entitled to. If death ends all possible experiences, then its finality robs us of every future joy, success, and connection we could have had. That's a legitimate source of sadness, and Epicurus doesn't directly dismantle it. His solution, not to mourn what we don't have, may seem too stoic or even dismissive to those who cherish the potential of every moment. Despite its emotional limitations, Epicureanism still offers something profound. By reframing death as not inherently bad, Epicurus helps people reclaim peace in the face of mortality. His approach encourages us to focus on the life we are living, rather than obsess over its end. In a world gripped by anxiety, constant distractions, and existential dread, Epicurus' voice is refreshingly calm. He reminds us, why fear what we cannot feel? For people who don't believe in an afterlife, this can be powerfully liberating. And for those who do believe in something beyond, Epicurus' perspective invites reflection. Are we fearing death itself, or the stories we've inherited about it? Ultimately, his logic might not cure the emotional ache, but it can shrink the monster under the bed. So, does Epicurus successfully eliminate the fear of death? If we define success purely in logical terms, then yes. His materialist reasoning is internally consistent and disarms many of the traditional metaphysical fears around death. If we define success emotionally, the answer is more complex. Epicurus offers a pathway to serenity, but not a universal cure. His philosophy may work best for those already leaning toward rationalism, minimalism, or who find peace in simplicity. But for the deeply emotional, relational, or spiritual among us, the fear of death may require more than logic. It may need meaning. Perhaps the real value of Epicurus isn't in erasing our fear, but in reframing it, turning death from a looming horror into a natural part of life's unfolding journey. Thanks for joining us in this deep dive into Epicurean thought and the timeless question of mortality. Here on The Unfolding Journey, we believe that philosophy isn't just abstract thought. It's a tool for navigating real human struggles. If today's exploration sparked reflection, challenged your views, or brought some peace to your thoughts on death, we'd love to hear from you. Speech Balloon, share your thoughts in the comments. Do you find Epicurus' argument convincing? Does it help you feel less afraid? Pushpin, and if you enjoy content that explores life's big questions through a thoughtful, reflective lens, make sure to subscribe, give us a like, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a chapter of this unfolding journey. Until next time, live fully, think deeply, and fear less.